Okay, so I figured I would just make a recording explaining why I've decided to bomb an IVF building or clinic. um, Basically, it just comes down to I'm angry that I exist, and that nobody got my consent to bring me here. And I know what you're gonna say. How could we have got your consent because you didn't exist? Blah blah blah. Exactly the point. There's no way you can get consent to bring someone here, so don't fucking do it, right? And if you're going to try to say something really fucking retarded like, well, since you don't exist, you don't have a consent status, and therefore we don't have to get consent, this really isn't any different from saying, oh, well, the girl's unconscious, so I can't get I can't get her consent to have sex with her, so therefore it's okay because I can't. There's no way to even ask for the consent, right? So I mean, if you actually think that's a good argument against what I've said, right, you're absolutely retarded. Your brain, it's very childish and retarded, right? And before you say, ooh, that's ad hominem, I said the word retard. No, I made an argument, and then I called you a retard, fucker. So it's not ad hominem. Ad hominem is when someone just name calls, and that's it. That's what ad hominem is, fuckhead. You people are, some of you motherfuckers are just too fucking stupid. Okay, anyways, so, yes, the point is, obviously you get people's consent to bring them here, so don't do it. It's that fucking simple, right? This is not complicated logic. This is not complicated ethics, okay? So, anyways, alright, so I have written some things down here. I tried to kind of order them in a way that makes sense, just because I have a lot of things to say, and, yeah, so hopefully there's some order to, my little recording here. But anyways, so yeah, so the reason I'm wanting to get the fuck out of this whole life game is basically, I guess it comes down to I'm not interested in being a life addict, right? So I really never wanted to do this life drug, and I remember, like, when I was a kid, people just trying to, I mean, my whole life, really, people have always been trying to push this life drug onto me. People try to push experiences onto me, like, hey, let's, go to a concert or some bullshit. It's always something, And I'm always saying, no, not interested. And, people are, for some reason, like, people just can't fucking take no for an answer, when it comes to this shit. It really isn't any different from, like, kids pushing drugs or smoking on some other kid or whatever. It's not really any different from this, except in this case it's more like fucking heroin. It's a much worse drug. And also, yes, life is a drug. It really is very analogous to a drug. I know some of you assholes are gonna get all triggered at me saying that, being negative, about life. But I mean, think about this. If you sit around and do absolutely nothing, like literally nothing, right, you're going to become very miserable pretty quickly, right? And the reason for this is that the default state for you is deprivation, right? And this is how life gets you to chase things, right? And yeah, that includes literally even drinking water, what we would call basic needs, right? Your brain gets you to chase things. That's really what's going on, right? And the shit that, we're chasing really is stupid, right? This whole evolution thing, life thing, is not an intelligent design, when you see innocent creatures getting completely fucked by life, I'm not just talking humans, but even animals, right? How the hell can you sit there and call that an intelligent design? It clearly isn't. It's a completely absurd thing to call life an intelligent design. It's clearly not, right? It clearly is just something that happened because it could, right? The circumstances were just right to where it could happen, and it did happen. It's not, evolution isn't really doing anything on purpose, right? It's just evolving. It's just happening. That's it, right? So it's not intelligent, and that's why I use the word stupid a lot in reference to the shit people are chasing, the shit people are doing, and what life is doing. It's stupid. I'm not saying that just because I'm upset about it. I'm saying that because I've thought about it, and I think the word stupid really does apply, okay? I tend not to use language too loosely, so Okay, so yeah, all this just to say, yeah, life itself really is just it's a big drug addiction, right? It's just chasing absolute nonsense, and I've pretty much seen this since I was a kid. I've pretty much known it since I was a kid. As a kid, I wasn't able to put words to it, but some part of my brain kind of understood it, right? Because I really wasn't very interested in anything. I really didn't want much, and as I've gotten older and older, more aware, I started to realize, like, oh, this is a really nasty game. This life on Earth game is really nasty. It's causing tons and tons of harm. It is a zero-sum game. Is that what it's called? Zero-sum game? Did I say that right? Hopefully I said that right. The basically what I'm trying to say is, since the default state is deprivation, basically you're being whipped constantly, okay? And the best you can achieve is not being whipped, right? Satisfying your needs and your desires, right? And which again really is just the whip being taken away, right? So as in Mendham, Gary would say, there is no carrot, there's only the whip, okay? It doesn't intuitively make sense when you think about it. Like when I first heard him say shit like that, I totally didn't believe it. I was like, no. Like there's certain things that are just like pleasurable on their own, and but as I thought about, over the week after, the week after I heard him say that, I just started thinking about things, and I started to realize, like, no, it's there really is no like fundamental like good, it really is all made of fixing bad things, fixing deprived states and whatnot, it's really interesting, and it's really, unfortunate, but that's that's just the way it is. So anyway, so yeah, zero-sum game, because like I said, the best you can do is clean up messes, and we can't even really do that well. I mean, you look around, we're not doing that, so, we, again, another thing Gary would say is, like, you spill the milk and then you clean up a small portion of it and then you pat yourself on the back. It's really, I mean, life really truly is completely fucking absurd, right? And to anyone who's like aware of these facts, intelligent, whatever, it's the more and more you become aware of this shit, the more miserable life becomes. It's just like, oh fuck, this is really bad, you start to see all the harm, and it's so nasty. Anyways, so and then I basically, most people just really aren't in any position in life to do much about it, and so basically you're just going to live life as a slave, really. I mean, people don't like it when I use this word, but that's just the way I see it. I don't know what to say. Like, I really do just see existence as a kind of slavery to a DNA molecule, basically. That's really all it is. And so I'm just saying maybe you're not miserable. Okay, fine, whatever. But a lot of people are, okay? And, it's wasted suffering. There's so many people, there's so many creatures, really, I should say, because it's not just humans that are important. It's, all the other sentient beings on this planet are also just as important, okay? So much wasted suffering, right? So much suffering that occurs, and for no, benefit, it's just a complete waste, and it's sickening. It really is sickening, so yeah, okay, so just I'm doing all this explaining just, for the people who don't get this shit. Like, this is all really important shit. Okay, what else did I have written down here? I wrote down, suicide prevention is people trying to push life on you, and is analogous to peers pressuring you to try drugs. Okay, I kind of already said this, but I didn't say the suicide prevention part. But yeah, suicide prevention really is just that. So people trying to prevent others from killing themselves, especially if the person has like a peaceful way of doing it, right? And you try to prevent them from doing it. You're just pushing life on them, which again is a drug. So you're just pushing drugs on people. So fuck that. Absolute nonsense. Another little thing I wrote down, really interesting point that I've not heard anyone else make. It's in regards to mass shooters and mass killings and whatnot. And I was thinking to myself, there's a an organization called the Violence Project. I believe that's what they're called. They have a lot of interesting data on mass shooters. And something interesting they found, really common in mass shooters, is that they have a suicidal crisis before they become before they start thinking about killing people, right? They have some kind of suicidal crisis. This is fairly common, right? Not all of them, but pretty common. And I was thinking to myself, you really probably would solve, really would prevent a lot of mass shootings if you gave them the right to a graceful exit, the right to die, right? And I'm not talking about the fake right to die that we have now, okay, which isn't even really a right, because other people have to decide for you, so it's not even really a right. And the people that do get it, obviously they have to be like very terminally ill and all this bullshit. It's not a right. It's nonsense, right? They've passed it in a very, very, very restricted and minimal way so that they can bullshit people and say, oh, look, we have the right to die, when no, we absolutely fucking don't, okay? And I could get into this whole topic, but I will in a minute. But the main point, back to the mass shooter thing, right? I really do think if we had an actual right to die in the U.S., right? Right to a graceful exit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You probably would prevent a good chunk of mass shooters. So yeah, interesting little fact. Or theory, I should say, whatever. Very likely true, though. Okay, yeah, back to the right to die thing, 'cause that's a really important topic. Yeah, so what we have now is a fake right to die. It's not at all some kind of human right to die. Absolute nonsense. There's the slippery slope argument where people say, like, oh, if we gave everyone the right to a graceful exit, what about like people getting coerced into it or whatever? And it's like, look, I could apply this shit to like free speech too. I could say, like, what if people say things that hurt my feelings or say bad things or whatever the fuck, right? I'm just saying you could apply the slippery slope argument to other types of human rights, and you can kind of quickly understand that, yeah, the price is kind of worth it, right? And then you think about, well, what is the price, right? In the case of right to die, what is the price being paid in these instances where it's abused and misused, right? The price, think about it, is somebody who maybe didn't want to die falls asleep and doesn't wake up, right? That's the big price, quote unquote, price being paid, right? Bullshit. I mean, such nonsense, right? So it's not even really a harm, right? I mean, even if you think it's a harm, fine, okay. But at least understand you're being way too perfectionistic, right? You're being absurdly perfectionistic. Nothing in this world is perfect, right? So you're basically saying we can't have the right to die until it's literally perfect, which is not pragmatic at all, right? You're not being pragmatic at all. It's a non-argument. It's an absolute fucking non-argument. So complete bullshit that we don't have a right to die, especially considering the fact that you're brought here without your consent in the first fucking place. The least this fucking goddamn society could do is give people a right to a graceful way out, not force them to jump off a goddamn building or shoot themselves in the fucking head or strangle themselves, pretty common method, whatever the fuck. Drink sodium nitrite, I know people think getting shot in the head and drinking sodium nitrite, these methods are considered like nice or better methods or whatever, but yeah, they're really not. I mean, getting shot in the head, pretty messy. Also, like, yes, it's easy to put the gun to your head, but like actually pulling the trigger, little scary, I must say. And the sodium nitrite thing, that's become a popular method, obviously. It's not like it's not completely peaceful. It does make your stomach feel pretty shitty, and I'm just saying it causes some pretty, kind of gross symptoms. So yeah, fuck these assholes that would say like, oh, you can just shoot yourself, you do have a right to die. I've heard people say shit like this. It's such a myopic fucking view. It's so shitty. So insensitive. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, God. Okay. What else? Yeah, so I guess maybe I should talk a bit about IVF. I mean, obviously I'm very against it. It's extremely wrong. I mean, these are people who are having kids after they've sat there and thought about it. How much more stupid can it get? I don't know. I guess you can make the argument like, well, at least they're thinking about it and at least they're planning it and all that. And it's like, yeah, that is something, I guess, but at the same time, again, you
keep the stick back like that. Yeah.
5.5.
You can let go of the stick.
Let go of the stick.
It doesn't do anything. See? Keep the stick back like that. Yeah.
5.5.
You can let go of the stick.
Let go of the stick.
It doesn't do anything. See?
Okay. It's scaring me.
5,000. Okay, coming up to 4.5.
Yeah.
So hands on the dash.
Hands on the dash.
Opposite rudder. Push that rudder. Push that rudder. Push it. Push. 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 Push.
Push, push.
There you go. Now grab the stick. And pull out the dive.
Fucking hell.
3,200 feet.
Fuck me.
Awesome, huh?
Whew.
Keep the stick back like that. Yeah.
5.5.
You can let go of the stick.
Let go of the stick.
It doesn't do anything. See?
Okay. It's scaring me.
5,000. Okay, coming up to 4.5.
Yeah.
So hands on the dash.
Hands on the dash.
Opposite rudder. Push that rudder. Push that rudder. Push it. Push. 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 Push.
Push, push.
There you go. Now grab the stick. And pull out the dive.
Fucking hell.
3,200 feet.
Fuck me.
Awesome, huh?
Whew.
Keep the stick back like that. Yeah.
5.5.
You can let go of the stick.
Let go of the stick.
It doesn't do anything. See?
Okay. It's scaring me.
5,000. Okay, coming up to 4.5.
Yeah.
So hands on the dash.
Hands on the dash.
Opposite rudder. Push that rudder. Push that rudder. Push it. Push. 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 Push.
Push, push.
There you go. Now grab the stick. And pull out the dive.
Fucking hell.
3,200 feet.
Fuck me.
Awesome, huh?
Whew.